There's one other point I want to focus on from Wolfson's essay, and this is a point that directly bounces off of one of Gallagher's arguments in her essay. So if you remember, one of Gallagher's main arguments was this. If we allow same-sex marriage, we will be sending a message to society. And that message is that reproduction is not important, that reproduction is not a fundamental aspect to the survival of our society. And according to Gallagher, that is just plainly false. Reproduction is fundamentally important to our society, and we ought to emphasize its importance. By allowing same-sex marriage, we do not do that. Therefore, we ought not accept or allow same-sex marriage. This is sometimes called Gallagher's message argument, that we would be sending a dangerous message to society by allowing same-sex marriage, and that message would ultimately have significant negative consequences for the whole of society. In response, Wolfson provides his own message argument. And I'm going to read a few lines here from page 127. I'm on the second column on the first full paragraph that starts with the denial of marriage. The denial of marriage to same-sex couples helps no one. But what it does do, as the title of Gallagher's book underscores, is harm lesbians and gay men, our children, and those who care about us. Gay youth are sent a message of inferiority and exclusion. Often before they even know that they are gay, they can sense that their difference means that they will be excluded from an important part of life. Gay couples are deprived of important protections and support as necessary for lesbian and gay human beings as for non-gays. If these things matter for non-gay lives, why are they trivial when gay people seek them? So basically, Wolfson is saying there is a message that will be sent to society, but that message is already being sent by the prohibition of same-sex marriage. And the message being sent by the prohibition of same-sex marriage is that homosexuals are not equal to heterosexuals, that same-sex couples do not deserve the same benefits and protections as opposite-sex couples. And Wolfson is arguing that this is a dangerous message to send to society as well. And as he says, what we are teaching our youth and the members of society is essentially that homosexual individuals and same-sex couples are not as valuable, are not equally valuable to society as opposite-sex couples. And Wolfson sees that as false and a dangerous message to send, which would have significant negative consequences. So he's arguing that prohibition sends a negative message to society. Gallagher was arguing that the allowance of same-sex marriage sends a dangerous message to society. I think that Wolfson would counter Gallagher further by saying that if we allowed same-sex marriage, we would be also sending a message to society, but that message would be that homosexual individuals and same-sex couples are accepted by our society, and they are seen, they are viewed as equally valuable and equally deserving of benefits and protections that are provided by marriage. And that is a message that we ought to be sending to society. He would probably further argue that we are not saying to society that reproduction is not important. Reproduction is important, but what we are saying is that it's not the only thing that is important to society. There are other important factors in society, and perhaps equality and love and caring and acceptance are some of those factors. Therefore, we ought to allow same-sex marriage so that we avoid the negative message of discrimination, and so that we support the positive message of equality of rights for same-sex couples and homosexual individuals.